Mel Horwich, Dean of CEU Business School, many congratulations on receiving the European CEO Award for Most Innovative Business School, East and Central Europe.
Well, thank you very much, Howard. We're delighted and honored to receive this award.
What do you see as the role of business schools in these times, and the CEU Business School in particular?
Well, that's a fascinating question. I think that business schools have a considerable role in these times, and I think it's a resilient, innovative industry. Business schools are constantly thinking about how they can do a better job, and this is particularly true for CEU Business School. We are trying to reimagine the MBA. We're trying to understand what we can do to make a difference in a time of change, in a time when the world is going through significant challenges. Indeed, we in Budapest are in the eye of the storm in trying to think it through. We're kind of a prototype. We are a laboratory thinking through how managers can make a difference, how they can take advantage of tough times, lean times, to see opportunities, to make a contribution. And that is the role, I think, of great business schools like ours. We're reinventing ourselves. We're trying to educate our students and other professionals so they can be effective in a fast-changing, turbulent universe.
So clearly you're looking to the future at CEU, but tell me a little about the past of the school, how it was founded and who it was founded by.
Yes, that's a very good question. The sort of legacy of the business school and how that affects our current and future strategy. The business school was founded by Mr. George Soros, a philanthropist, and another gentleman in Hungary, really in 1988, to bring best practices to Hungary and other countries in the former socialist bloc. This is even before the wall came down. It captured the imagination of the world at that time. 3 years later, Soros also funded and founded Central European University. So we are actually older than the university of which we're now a part. And then we merged in 2002 with the university to continue our work, but also become part of a major distinguished university, CEU. So then we became known as Central European University Business School. And we grew since then. The whole mission of the university is really to further what Mr. Soros called the open society, bringing human rights, integrity, anti-corruption to the practice, to society. And this, of course, is quite important. The business school has played a role in that. Indeed, we were funded with a major grant on integrity very, very recently. However, we are now contributing to the mission of the university overall in a very interesting way. We are helping expand the notion of the open society for the 21st century.
There's a lot of talk about innovation, but how do you put innovation into practice?
Innovation is the key to being successful in the world we're moving into. You can't save your way out of the problems. Austerity is not enough. We have to innovate our way out of these situations, and we have to find ways that we can create new value in order to be successful. That's what we're trying to do at CEU Business School in our own way. We are now trying to take students, other professionals, and teach them how to be an entrepreneur, how to start companies, scale companies, how to be entrepreneurial in small, medium-sized companies, family-owned businesses, multinationals in emerging regions. And we think there's an enormous potential to do that. We are trying to have our students become part of entrepreneurial enterprises. We're setting up a new incubator in order to do that. We're working with incubators at other universities, technology-based universities, to be successful. We know we can't do it alone. We have to have partners in Budapest, in Central Europe, around the world, in Asia, Latin America, Africa, in order to be successful, and that's what we're trying to do.
And another important aspect of your work on innovation is embodied in the Innovation Lab, as you call it.
Yes. We are struggling with how you actually teach people to be entrepreneurs or to be entrepreneurial. One of the enduring questions, of course, is can you actually teach people to be entrepreneurs? Are they just sort of born with it in their DNA? We don't think so. We think you can take budding leaders, and at least for some subset of them, significant portion of them, you can make them entrepreneurial. And in order to do that, we've created this Business Accelerator Lab. And what we are doing is we're nurturing companies in this new lab, this new unit at our school, maybe in collaboration with other universities and faculty and students elsewhere. And we are seconding our students, those who are interested in these new startup companies. And we are putting them with entrepreneurs under faculty supervision where they have to work and they have to create new business models, they have to work in commercializing new technology, they have to work in maybe looking for new markets overseas, linking up with professional managers overseas. And then not only that, but they have to then reflect on it and they have to write about it and see how that has an influence in their own professional career in the future. This is a very, very important activity for us. The other thing we're trying to do is make our students even more global, more sophisticated, not just global, but more sophisticated. And these are the kinds of things and kind of activities we're seriously developing. And once we do that, we want to share it with our colleagues at other business schools and also learn from them.
Finally, you moved from New York City to Budapest to assume the deanship at CEU. What have you learned from that personal journey?
It has been an adventure. That's all I can say. It's been an adventure. It's been a surprise. It turns out that you can have great business schools anywhere in the world. It doesn't have to be in North America or Western Europe. That in the world we're living in, it is important to have great business schools everywhere. This world is distributed, and we are part of that new ecosystem. I'm learning what it's like to have a school that is in a crossroads city like Budapest. It reflects the world we're moving into. It turns out you can innovate and be an entrepreneur anywhere and link up with other people anywhere. And that's what good companies do, that's what good business schools are do. So I'm trying to learn how to capture that value at my institution. I'm trying to learn how to reinvent what a business school is when you don't start from the advanced economies only. Luckily, we are both a Hungarian business school, a European business school, and an American business school. We're registered in both environments, and we are trying to take the best from both a transition emerging region and blend it with the advanced region at the same time. And that's one thing I've learned.
Merrill Horowitz, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.